Welcome to Army News. In this week's newscast, we have a report on exercise Castromene, coverage of the recent engineering exercise Bridge Gallop, a report on the rigorous training that takes place on the Phase 3 Infantry Officers course. Also, how Army transformation has affected the Fire Battery Commander's course. We will also look to Sergeant Daniel Soucy, who's going to tell us what's on the menu, his report on the new Army rations. Our first story takes us to Asbestos and Drummondville, Quebec, where soldiers from the 1st Battalion, Royal 22e Regiment, recently left their familiar training grounds to participate on exercise Castromene. Assault boating and patrolling around farms weren't the only challenges encountered before they arrived at the Jeffrey mine site.
More than 260 soldiers arrived today from the 1st Battalion Royal 22nd Regiment to participate in exercise Castromene.
The first goal involves reconnaissance vehicles. A lot of this needs to be done. My first choice was the Asbestos region since it resembles deployments presently being experienced by the 3rd Battalion in Afghanistan. The terrain is very mountainous, rocky, mine-infested, and contains lots of cracks and holes. It was perfect to train our troops.
Major Robin Lessard explains the goal of the exercise.
The training objectives aims to principally train the infantry platoons from the 1st Battalion of the Royal 22e Regiment to execute combat foot patrol and reconnaissance patrol in a habitated zone. Therefore, in a sector completely different from what they're used to.
Last night, the patrols, one after the other, all reached the Drummondville airport, which is in this area. We have Drummondville here, and they have all reached this point. It was the departure point here on the map we are using. We have Drummondville here, Asbestos in this corner here, which is the main objective. As soon as the enemy force tracks the patrols or finds a clue, they can use the dogs to find them.
The battle procedures completed, the soldiers left the shore in order to get closer to the objective. This next step was challenging since the river was not always deep enough. 8 hours had arrived, they implemented their plan and withdrew with their prisoners. For Army News, this is Sergeant Pierre Mignot.
Members of 2 Combat Engineer Regiment from CFB Petawawa have been very busy over the past year. With overseas deployments and a hectic individual training calendar, they have not had the opportunity to train as an entire unit for some time. Sergeant Kevin Galena caught up with the regiment during a bridge building exercise.
We had the opportunity to catch up with 2 Combat Engineer Regiment conducting a bridge gallop from Kingston to Petawawa, Ontario. 2 CER has just recently redeployed from Afghanistan and Bosnia and now have the opportunity to train together as a unit. In addition to this, the focus of the last 2 years has been at a combined arms level of training, to the detriment of some key engineer skills. The main effort of this particular exercise is to refresh the medium girder bridge and medium raft skills of engineer soldiers by actually constructing these bridges on unfamiliar terrain.
Basically, as engineers, our role is to assist friendly troops, our own Canadian troops and allied forces to live, move and fight on the battlefield. So as engineers, it's our job to make sure that no matter what the obstacle is, whether in this case a water obstacle or a minefield, that we can move friendly troops across any obstacle in the quickest amount of time for them to get through and reach their objectives. In this heat, to be working this hard and working twice as hard, because each soldier here today was doing the work of 2 sappers. What we need more soldiers, more sappers in our troops to be able to do this more effectively.
Definitely, bridging is very physically demanding for sappers, and I mean, we have 2 different kinds of bridges that we're building here: medium raft or medium floating bridge, and your medium girder bridge. And the medium girder bridge is a lot more physically demanding, but it's long days and it's difficult, definitely.
This is the first time we've done this many bridges, I guess, in such a short span of time. So, well, we just kind of worked out some of the kinks there with the, different jobs, part of the different aspects of the building, the bridges and whatnot. So, yeah, it helped a lot working up to it, step by step.
Conducting their skills as combat engineers is not an easy task. But time and again, 2 Combat Engineer Regiment has proved their abilities to both Canada and the world. This is Sergeant Kevin Galena reporting for Army News, Perth, Ontario.
Thank you, Sergeant Galena. The Army News team from the Land Forces Atlantic area recently captured on film some great footage of the Infantry Officers Phase 3 course. Then Master Corporal Marc Lamontagne sent us this report. The Infantry School conducts the Basic Infantry Officers course at the Combat Training Center in Gagetown. The course provides up to 36 candidates with the skills required to command a dismounted infantry platoon. To prepare for this physically demanding course, candidates embark on a personal physical fitness program. A high level of endurance and upper body strength is required to complete the 3-month course.
Some days you wake up and you're like, why am I doing this?
Knowing the friends I've had on this course that have whatever gotten injured off or quit, all guys 25 or whatever in good shape that wanted to be here and still didn't finish. Your average person, I honestly don't think could do it.
When you guys go to ground, you keep your boots on. You have to be ready to go at a moment's notice, all right? I gave 7 minutes notice, and guys still weren't ready on time. If we got bumped, if there was a stand to, guys just wouldn't be ready. We've got to be careful. We got bumped this morning on our patrol base. The enemy can and will be everywhere.
Well, I definitely have my eyes opened as to the training that the young officers go through. It's very rigorous, but there's a lot of technical knowledge that I wouldn't have had on the senior NCO side of the house until I got my 6B, which would have been before my officer's course, in how to lead a platoon. It's very in-depth. You've got to be thinking on your feet at all times and be fluid, because the dynamic of the battlefield is always changing. You have to be able to adapt to any given situation.
I feel confident that whatever adjustments need to be made to my skill base or my knowledge base, I could learn it quickly in a battalion, and I'd be able to offer a platoon 30 baby-faced soldiers a competent leader who is able to adjust to whatever situation they were put in and give them the necessary leadership.
Mission: 4 platoon will destroy enemy SAM launcher at grid 117540, no later than 1200 hours.
Right now I'm the platoon commander. I'm leading this patrol. Our objective is a ADATS on the top of a hill in an open area. Right now we're at the ORV. We've just briefed all our troops. Presently they're eating, prepping, and getting ready. We're going to move off at 9.
In a kneeling position, you're 100 meters away from the actual target, and from there it's a downhill fight.
All call signs move now.
Group up! One group, let's go! Barely, let's go!
We came under contact further past the objective than we thought. We pushed too far. In hindsight, we should have fulfilled our mission by searching and blowing the ADATs sooner, rather than pushing out farther. But other than that, I think that the mission went all right.
For Army News, embedded with the Phase 3 Infantry Officers course, this is Master Corporal Marc Lamontagne, Gagetown Training Area.
Army transformation is changing how the artillery now trains its future battery commanders. I was in sunny Shilo for the exercise Sabre Thrust, the final phase of Fire Battery Commander's course.
Fire! Fire!
The artillery has seen some major changes to its equipment and capabilities in the last few years. As the Army conducts transformation across the board, the artillery also faces many changes, not only with equipment, but training. Future commanders must now learn how to use new technology on the Field Battery Commander's course, conducted at the Royal Canadian Artillery School in Gagetown and supported by the 1st Regiment Royal Canadian Horse Artillery at CFB Shilo.
The course you see behind us is the Battery Commander's course, and the course is designed to give the battery commanders the skills they require to command in operations. The course spans the better part of 3 months. We have 10 candidates. We try to give the officers all the skills they require to harness indirect fire. Specifically what I'm talking about is artillery, but within that we also have close air support, aviation, air, mortars in some cases. What we're trying to achieve is to enable them to synchronize all of those assets in line with the battle group commander's plan.
Army transformation has affected the artillery in a number of ways, mostly for equipment and personnel. In the way of equipment, it's brought to us the LAV OPVs, and in fact the Battery Commander's course had to learn the LAV OPV prior to coming out to the field to actually perform their course.
The challenge of getting right into the meat of things, seeing live bullets out on the ground, and being able to coordinate and bring those effects within a scheme of maneuver, and then actually be able to see the effects on the ground. For going on the course, the biggest recommendation is to get back into our bread and butter of fire discipline, get back up to speed on tactics.
The 5-day artillery exercise Sabre Thrust, held at CFB Shilo, is the final phase of the Field Battery Commander's course run by the Royal Canadian Artillery School in Gagetown. This is Sergeant Derek Scott for Army News. For more information on your Army and other stories Army News has covered, visit our website at army.gc.ca. So what's on the menu today? We've all asked that question on exercise, but even when you're not being fed fresh rations, soldiers would like to have a choice when it comes to the hard rations. Well, your requests have been heard.
Although hard rations have been in place for a long time, it's important to know that they're based on high-level standards and requirements. Nevertheless, many that consume these rations may wonder how they're made and what's in them. I met with project manager Mrs. Belanger-Drapeau.
The main point is the quality and the attention that is brought to the manufacturing of the components as well as the assembly. What you have first is that you have an inspection that is done at the supplier, the manufacturer, and in some instances also you have product that is sent our evaluation center where we do compare the production against the tender samples that have been approved by taste panels that are done every year. And then when the product is delivered here, the company will verify the quantity of product that is delivered and also the outside quality. For instance, if the packet is well sealed, if the packet is well printed, if it corresponds to the menu that they have received, the outside quality, if there's any stains on the outside packet. This location is very important as far as the quality, the last quality verification we're doing.
Even if you're skeptical about the contents of those little gray bags, you can rest assured they meet your nutritional standards. Soldiers should know that they have input as to what the contents of menu items will be.
We do have field trials. We try to have them about every year where we bring new products to the soldiers, and according to their rating we will include the items on the menu. If it's not satisfactory, sometimes we take the comments that we receive and we go back to the supplier and ask them to improve their product. Also, we do have taste panels that are done yearly at the evaluation center in Ottawa, where we will evaluate each items that will be purchased for the next year of assembly. And this is when a product is accepted, that we keep samples of what has been accepted by a group of 12 military personnel, and then we will compare the production against that approved sample. What happens is we have a list of menus or entrees that have been approved either before or now that are approved from the field, and from that list I will select items from year to year so that we do provide a variety of items.
Mrs. Belanger-Drapeau is always searching for new ways to improve hard rations for soldiers.
There's, I think, two major improvements. First of all, you have the retort pouch, which is the foil pouch or the bag that you put in water. That is the main improvement over the cans. It is similar to a can, but it's much more flexible. And also, because of the new technology, because it is thin, it provides us the possibility to offer a very good variety of product. And the next one, I would say, is the bread, the pouch bread that had been included about 10 years ago. There's a lot of people. It's a collaboration of many individual companies, government and personnel that brings the rations, and we hope to the quality that the soldier is expecting. And we really try to satisfy our main clients, which is the soldier.
Obviously, a good-natured soldier will tell you that when eating hard rations for an extended period of time, nothing beats a hot meal prepared by the unit cooks. This is Sergeant Craig Reed, Army News.
This is Army News, your news for your Army. We would like to hear from you, so please contact us at army.gc.ca. Up next, a special presentation of short stories that profile Canadian soldiers at home and abroad during the Second World War. Thanks for watching Army News. I'm Sergeant Derek Scott. See you next week.